Check one, check two.
Test, test.
Oh, okay. So test, test, test. Okay, it's got. Test, test. Test, test.
Test one, test two. Check one, check two.
Sounds good. Check one, check two.
I can't hear the music at all, but I can hear him. All right, so I'll sit like this. I'll sit this way. Be just All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wasatch Junior Roller Derby's Bonneville Beatdown. If you're not here for roller derby, you're in the wrong place, folks, as we've got two action-packed days of roller derby. We're going to cut these kids loose here in a little bit, but we're going to go over a couple of rules here. This is a junior event, so a big reminder to all the parents, as passionate as you are for your child, remember to only cheer positively. No negative cheering, no booing. I am guilty of it from time to time, feeling like my kid has been hit too hard or something like that. But trust in the officials, trust in the system. It'll take care of itself and everything will work itself out. So remember, just positive cheering. You can get ejected from the building and ejected from future JURTA tournaments. So please refrain from negative cheering. And remember, if you're yelling, kill, 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 and you're sitting next to somebody's parent, that's pretty bad taste. So be professional about this. Also, there is a red line that goes all the way around the derby track. It is your job to do everything you can to stay on that side of the red line. At no point should you ever leave your seat and charge onto the track until we tell you at the end of the bout. But if you have a child out there and they get hurt and they go down, trust that we have a very competent, qualified medic team over there that will respond, and they will take care of it. They will assess your child. They will take them over to the medics box, which is over there by the American flag. And they will, when they are ready for you to engage, they'll put one hand up. But please let them ask questions and things like that. If you jump out of your seat and run onto the track, remember there are 30 people moving at 30 plus miles an hour who are trained to hit things. You are not trained in being hit. So stay off the track at all times. Nobody's looking for you. All right, starting off with the Bonneville Beatdown. We're going to start off fast and furious. It looks like our two teams are going through their gear checks. We'll introduce the two teams for you. If you are at home watching, we've got under a minute. So let me introduce the visiting team. First of all, we've got the Cherry Bomb Brawlers, the Bombers from Spokane, Washington, being led into battle today by Jester, Scully, and Wolf. We have 100 Electric Fox, 117 Spartan, 119 Liz in Fear, 167 Virus, 17 Caterkiller, 19 Slaughtermelon. '21 Sugar Rush, 22 Doombringer, 24 and the captain for today, Tiny Terror, 67 Tough Little Cookie, 73 Lithium, 78 Alley Cat, 813 Psychotic. And number 99, Ride or Die.
And from right here, the Wasatch Assault, we have 101 Bad Cop, 115 Chameleon, number 13 Green Tea, 138 Crimson Slayer, 2014 Circus, 2319 Rollerena, 26 Roletta, number 30 Lady J, at 5 Quiet Killer, 621 Gretcha Sketch, number 71 Road Rash, 722 Loach, 77 One Hit Wonder, 84 Chemical X, 919 Feline Feisty, and at number 95 Joe Don't Do It.
All right, and your zebras for tonight. Calling the X's and the O's, bringing the justice to the lawless, making sure this doesn't turn into a hockey game. We've got Guinness, Data, Peter, You Know, I Know, You Know, Vonnie, Misconduct, Sushi, Princess Albert, Whammed Off, Cold Gin, Moof, Dr. Boom, Van Roland, D-Rex, Bionic Envy, Dino, Parkin Rex, Thorn, and Kiss Off. Those will be calling it tonight, making sure this doesn't get out of hand. My name is Salty Bear.
Merciful Skate.
And we'll be bringing you the X's and O's and calling it what we can. All right, it looks like the Cherry Bomb Brawlers is going to start off big. They're putting out Spartan there for their first one. That's 117. Going head-to-head with 13 Green Tea for the Wasatch. Wasatch is backed off onto the pivot line. Cherry Bomb Brawlers is right up onto the jam line.
All right, talking over those last few things. That's the officials in both teams. Waiting for that rolling whistle to get this started, and there it is.
All right, and the whistle blows, and there's a little jousting right there between Spartan and Green Tea. Green Tea goes to the outside. Spartan tries the inside. The Wasatch wall holds up. Green Tea plops through. Green Tea is through. Wasatch. Spartan falls on top of Crimson Slayer. Gets right back up. Crimson Slayer gets up in front of him. Oh, pushes him out, though. Cycling him back is One Hit Wonder. Spartan is back. Green Tea is through. He's got his first 4. Spartan is back into that wall trying to push on it as Joe don't do it. One Hit Wonder, Crimson Slayer and Lady J. And with a little nudge, Spartan gets pushed out. Assault keeping him back. Now Jay one-on-one blocking with Spartan. Spartan gets past that, runs into Crimson Slayer. They're doing a good job holding back Spartan. Spartan slips off this cover. Green Tea is through for his second 4. Now looking for his third. Runs into number Liz and Fear over there.
That was ride or die with the save on that one to push Green Tea out, giving Spartan a chance to finally make through to get on their scoring pass, but not before Green Tea calls that one off for it's like a 12-0 run to start this first jam off for the Wasatch Assault.
This year, Wasatch coming in a little depleted. They have had some injuries that have held some players back, and they've had to move up some B skaters. We'll see them today for the first time in their first tournament.
A nice quick move to the outside by Gretchesketch to take a quick lead position. Well, we have number 100 Electric Fox of the Bombers trying to make their way through. Lady J with some good one-on-one blocking. Gretchesketch taken out, comes right back in on their first scoring pass. Salt having a really good defense starting off this game. Really good tripod defense, keeping the Bomber Jammers occupied pretty difficult while the Wasatch Jammers are getting through and putting up some points here early.
Lady J using some older moves that some of the older skaters have taught her to drag him back. Oh, now she gets a multiplayer. Heading to the sin bin. That's the Pie Pizzeria sin bin. We always want to give a shout out to the Pie Pizzeria, as they have always been very good to us here in Utah.
All right, One Hit Wonder with a nice hit to take out Electric Fox. Not making it easy for them. And once again with another strong hit by One Hit Wonder. Some very good one-on-one defense. Meanwhile, Gretchesketch going down has 20 on the board. 30 seconds left in this jam. So they're just going to keep on running it.
A blocker swap in the box there as they swap Lady J for One Hit Wonder. I always feel bad for those bigger skaters and juniors, because if they touch a little skater and they fall, it's a penalty, it seems like.
Oh, nice, solid hit. That was number 73, Lithium of the Bombers to halt Gretchesketch. But Gretch does find a way on the inside to put up 4 more before this jam ends. So great run for Gretchesketch on this second jam of the game. All right now we have Loach of the Assault going up against Caterkiller, number 17 of the Bombers. It's like there is one on the bench for the Assault. Loach, nice, quick move. Lead again for us, the Wasatch Assault.
Wasatch doing a good job with team blocking, making sure that Caterkiller cannot advance through there.
All right, Loach gets their first 4. Some whistles on there. Looks like another Assault player will be going to the bench. I'll give a 4-3 advantage to the Bombers as Caterkiller finds her way to get through.
Looks like Virus having a hard time finding where the penalty box is. Get some help from third base coach Valkyrie Vixen over there.
All right, and Loach calls that one off, so there will be one player from the assault. Their pivot will be sitting out in the box for this next one. All right, and Chameleon out there, and Spartan back out for the Bombers again. So it looks like there's a 3-3 blockers out on the track here. Each team having a player in the box. A lot of quick. Oh, then Chameleon. Both jammers hitting hard and shoving their way through, but it is Chameleon finding that way through first, take that lead position. Now Spartan is through and out.
Chameleon looking right at their coaches, making sure they know what they're going to call. They make sure the box gets cleared, and they call it off right as Spartan comes up to the box to make sure he can't get any points.
All right, benches are clear for this jam number 5 coming up here. 44-2 is your score right now. Green Tea up against Electric Fox. So the Assault showing a very deep jammer bench right now, putting out a lot of different players in that position.
They have been exercising a lot of newer players at jammers, trying to figure out how they work. And here we go. The whistle blows. T swings to the outside. Electric Fox tries the middle. Green Tea is loose. Electric Fox trying to fight through Roletta. Feline Feisty, Crimson, and Loach. And now we have Wasatch heading into the box as Loach drags back Electric Fox. Electric Fox is back in, puts the hit on Loach. Loach doing some one-on-one blocking, puts him in the pocket, and keeps Electric Fox at bay. Loach goes down, no. Green Tea comes in, slides around the outside with a nice little dip.
Oh, and yeah, there will be a cut call on the Bombers jammer. I didn't see the Wasatch pivot go back and entered in a little too early. So now Green Tea will have that power jam advantage as they are going to be putting up some points here.
Wasatch is reincorporated and using back the drawback and trying to get the jammer in a cut track penalty situation. They seem to be working it out. Colonel Skirts introduced that to us. Thank you, Colonel, if you're out there listening. Green Tea fighting through that black wall that gets through there. Think every player out there put a hit on Green Tea as he went through there.
All right, Bomber Jammer back off the bench now and runs straight into a Wasatch wall. Green Tea now taken back out. Cycled back, going through again. Bombers put some good hits, but Green Tea's able to find their way through for 4 more points.
Green Tea's been skating before he can walk, so he just bounces around in there, never loses his feet.
All right, 1-on-1, and Green Tea swoops around for 4. While it is Electric Fox, looks like they're having still trying to make their way through. And time runs out on that one. Looks 30 points up for Wasatch Assault in that jam, leaving 74-2. As we're getting close to our first 10 minutes of the game, winding down here.
It's hard to believe it's so early in the morning and these kids have so much energy. I certainly do not yet. So here we go. It's Gretchen Sketch coming out against Caterkiller. Caterkiller runs right into Joe. Don't do it. Joe says, nope, you shall not pass. Nice clean block in there, and Caterkiller gets back up. Meanwhile, Gretchen's out of there. Gretchen's going around. Gretchen's coming back in there. He's looking at the inside, gets around Lady J. She provides a little bit of offense. Now she slides to the outside. Jay's trying to draw back the jammer. Caterkiller realizes to fall back.
Wasatch putting on a really good defense this game. Very strong, both on one-on-one blocking and team blocking. Gretchen Sketch with a nice jump through for 4 points, and now the Bombers are on their scoring run.
We did get a star pass in there. Liz and Fear did get the star. That was a clean handoff, and right as Liz and Fear comes around to start scoring, they call it off. All right, it's always good to see the referees and the scorekeepers conferring. These kids work too hard not to count every point, not to make sure they get every call right. So here we go, 115 Chameleon going head-to-head with Spartan. Some jousting on the jammer line with the two jammers. Now Spartan runs into the Wasatch front there. They're doing a good job holding them back. That's Roletta, Crimson Slayer, Feline Feisty, and Circus. Chameleon is in and back around and running into the cherry bomb wall. Separates him, drags him out, strings him out, gets through there.
Yeah, the Wasatch Jammers coming in really hard, able to separate the bomber blockers to get through on those points. But, oh, very nice hit, as I say that, by Sugar Rush to bring back Chameleon.
And now we have bodies moving around. Chameleon moving through for another 4. Still stuck in there is Spartan.
All right,
It's a handoff there.
Sugar Rush now with Star as Chameleon try to make their way through. And calls that off just as the Bombers approach. So 12 points on that one for the Wasatch Assaults, who are at 98-2.
I think the nice thing with younger jammers is they are in tune to the coach. They're looking at the coach. They don't have a mind of their own yet, so they're just looking at the coach. Whatever the coach wants them to do, they're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, no bad habits to break. They grow up playing the sport and, know what to look for and know what to do.
So Electric Fox out there against Loach. Loach goes to the inside and slides through there. Electric Fox trying to fight through there. Bad Cop, Road Rash, Joe Don't Do It, and One Hit Wonder all out there. Now One Hit Wonder going to the sin bin for 30 seconds of reflection for a forearm.
Electric Fox, looks like that's Bad Cop with some one-on-one blocking on them and holds them back as the Wasatch team recovers and rebuilds around that jammer to hold them back as Loach continues on their scoring run. Oh, hard hit by Road Rash to bring down the bomber jammer, Electric Fox. As Electric Fox will now be going to the box. That'll be a power jam. Advantage Wasatch.
Yeah, talk about adding insult to injury. You get a cut track penalty and knocked down at the same time. Loach is coming around the inside, slices through there.
Yeah, Loach communicating with their blockers to provide some good offense to swing their way through there. A good offensive wall to go right behind and is through by Loach for 4 more. Electric Fox now back out as the Wasatch blockers regroup into a tripod. Loach is down, but back up. Direction called, being assessed to Road Rash of the assault. Oh, and a multiplayer. So now there are 2 of Wasatch's blockers in the box right now. So this next jam looks like the Bombers are going to have a 4-2 advantage with defenders coming up. See if they can take advantage of that for their jammer to get through and get that lead position.
All right, we got a timeout. Somebody.
Looks like there's the
just official
Bombers.
timeout. Bombers.
Bombers with the team timeout.
All right. So, folks, during a team timeout, it's an excellent time to get up, move around. Welcome to the Derby Depot. If you haven't been here before, we are literally on the other side of the track, so make sure your car is locked. That's not a joke, especially at night. And while you're around, if you're visiting, make sure you're availing yourself to the concession stand. And remember, we are sitting at some altitude here, so make sure to hydrate. Make sure you're drinking your Gatorade, your Powerade, your body armors, whatever you choose to drink. Avoid caffeines and things like that, and watch yourself for cramping and stuff like that. Now, if you're not visiting, make sure you purchase some visiting Derby gear from everybody who's traveled. If they've gone for the effort to bring their gear with them, it's a good way to pay and keep travel costs down. It's a good way to pay for rent, things like that. So make sure you're supporting other Derby organizations by buying their gear.
And then it makes your own gear look cool. My Derby bag's full of all kinds of pins and stuff from visiting teams.
And it always seems like people break out their Derby gear when they're at a home team bout.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. We have referees. Look this way. Look this way. Sorry, we had a scorekeeper up here who needed to stop things for a second to make sure the score is right. Once again, we applaud the effort to make sure that every point these kids earn is counted and they get rewarded for it. They put in too much time and effort to not have it all count. Shout out to our sponsors today. Our sponsors today would be Canyon Sports Therapy. Thank you, Canyon Sports Therapy, for supporting our skaters. I believe they have somebody over behind the medics booth over there today that they're working on parts as they come in. Pie Pizzeria, Utah's best pizza. If you're here visiting, make sure you go out to Pie Pizzeria, as they have the original handmade pizzas, subs, and salads for the last 40 years. And they donate quite a bit of pizza to the Derby community here. Einstein Bagels for generously donating all the bagels for the volunteers today. And of course, 187 Killer Pads for their discounts on their pads. We haven't quite got free pads yet, but maybe.
Yeah, I haven't got the free pads. I did have to get some new elbow pads a little while ago, though, and they are great. Yeah. No more banged up elbows whenever I hit the ground. All right, this gives a chance for both teams to regroup and get ready, as we are about halfway through our first half here of our first game. Well, another official timeout. So there's more to discuss.
Once again, the referees are just going over, making sure they've got the official number of star passes, who passed to who. Was it a clean? Was it this? Was it that? Taking the extra effort to make sure that everything gets counted, everything these kids do gets counted and recorded. So here we go. It looks like we're okay. We're walking back onto the track.
Final go ahead, and there is the rolling whistle, and we are back on. It's both these teams with a good chance to regroup, re-strategize, get together, and so we go into jam number 8. We have Green Tea going up against Sugar Rush. Again, there is that 4-2 blocker advantage that the Bombers have this jam.
They got Crimson Slayer and Roletta out there, both very competent blockers. We'll see. But, Sugar Rush almost had a line through there. Green Tea exploits it and gets around the outside. Green Tea, with space to operate, is one of the best skaters out there.
Yeah, Spartan, though, really good offense to get Sugar Rush through. Tries to take down Green Tea. Green Tea is out. Sugar Rush now on their scoring pass. And got some points on that one, but not before Crimson Slayer pushes them out to recycle them back. And now the benches are clear.
I think the coaches wanted to cook off those penalties to make sure they could get it clean. Green Tea with back-to-back apex jumps.
Right, Sugar Rush looking for a way through. One-hit wonder, and I believe Roletta are doing some good combination blocking there. Oh, Spartan with a hard hit to bring Green Tea down, but they are right back up to their feet to challenge that wall and are through.
I felt that landing up here.
Yeah, I could hear that one for sure.
It did rattle my chair a little bit. But like I said, Green Tea's like a pachinko ball. He's out there bouncing around, gets right back up, shakes it off, moves forward.
Yeah, one-hit wonder with some penalty trouble, though, in this first half. They are back on the bench. Green Tea assesses the situation to try to look through, and they are brought out by Spartan. Sugar Rush finds a way to go right on through for 4. The Green Tea is right behind. And that is it for this jam as time runs out. Bombers put up 8 on that one. We have 150 to 10 at the end of that jam. And Chemical X, now a new jammer for the Wasatch Assault out there, number 84. That is number 17 for the Bombers. Caterpillar back out for the Bombers.
This is Chemical X's second year on the team, first year of active participation. They're doing a good job, and they're going to push forward. Can't build a superhero without Chemical X.
And Caterpillar through, and that takes that lead position. Oh, they are racing around that track. Get some points on the board for the Bombers. Chemical X on a scoring pass of their own. Caterpillar brought down, back up on their feet. Oh, taken down at the very last by Joe Don't Do It and brought back. I don't know if their hips passed Joe's to get that last point, however, so we'll see if they got maybe 3 or 4 points right now on that run, if they can get through.
Well, we'll see, because Chemical X has caught up and eliminated the advantage. Now Chemical X is through first.
Caterpillar trying to push their way through. And there is a truck call. Joe Don't Do It pushed them out. I guess Caterpillar did not realize that they had stepped out there and went back on the track, and they are now in the box. That gives a power jam opportunity for the Wasatch Assault. And with lead gone, that means that this jam will go the full 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in this one. Big crash right in front of the crowd here.
Yeah, I think Coach Jester was trying to call it off. Caterpillar didn't see it and then ended up getting a cut track penalty. Chemical X fighting through there. Caterpillar's out of the box and made contact. Now getting drugged back by One-Hit Wonder. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. That was close.
Yeah, definitely started to come in, realized where One-Hit Wonder was in relation to them and had to readjust there, but time runs out on that one. Bombers put up 4 points to Wasatch Assault 16 as we go down to 11 minutes left in our first half.
All right, Gretchen Sketch coming out against Electric Fox. Electric Fox wanted to get into Gretchen Sketch's pocket. Gretchen Sketch pushes it through, pushes up the middle, stays on the track, and pushes everything through. Electric Fox trying to get through there, runs into Chameleon. Chameleon being supported by Roletta. We've got Killer Panda out there. Excuse me, Quiet Killer.
Well, Crimson Slayer, the pivot for the Assault, will go to the box. As Electric Fox makes their way through. Gretchen Sketch rolling in for another. Spartan goes down. There was a cut, though, on that. So instead of the jam being called off, Gretchen Sketch will be in the box. That will give a power jam opportunity for the Bombers, and Electric Fox takes advantage of that and gets some points for the Bombers. 3-on-3 blocker situation we have here on the ground as Crimson Slayer comes right back out in front of Electric Fox. Electric Fox stopped by, can't see, that was 115. Chameleon. Chameleon with a good stop on Electric Fox there. And now Gretsch and Sketch is back out of the penalty box.
Making contact with that black wall, holds up, but now Gretchen Sketch gets to the inside, twisting, and gets out. No.
Yeah, another cut track. The Bombers took her out and just stepped that toe stop right outside the line before coming in. So this Electric Fox having a great run for the Bombers on here. Got 8 points up on the board for them. There are just a few seconds left in this jam. If they can get a few more points before the whistle blows, let's see, but no. But still, 8 points up for the Bombers. Electric Fox, very good jam for the Bombers on that one.
And Wasatch is caught with their jammer in the box.
Yeah, so power start. That'll be Sugar Rush.
Looks like an official review being called by Wasatch.
So both teams will be talking that one out, see if anything changes here on the board or if any players end up stepping out of the box or not. For our local fans here, we have a few upcoming announcements. We are starting a new crash course, so as you're watching now and you're thinking, wow, that'd be a lot of fun to play as an adult, you can play this as an adult. We will have our crash course starting soon. Our info night is going to be on March 31st right here at the Derby Depot. You can scan the flyer next to the exit door to sign up for a time slot. I highly encourage it. That's how I got into this program a little over 2 years ago now. Hey, the challenge there was to see if the jammer did in fact step out for the Wasatch Assault, and it is ruled that they in fact did. So that official review will not be retained. They lose their official review for the half. That is Wasatch Assault losing their official review for the half. Whistle blows, Sugar Rush comes out, and see if they can get that lead position before the jammer go, but it is Wasatch's Gretchen Sketch right back out of the box, back in. And through as Sugar Rush is trying to find their way through a very tough, solid Wasatch tripod and brought down at turn number 1 as Gretchen Sketch makes their scoring run and through for 4. All right, that is Rouletta, it appears, of the Wasatch Assault going to the box as Sugar Rush makes their way around, and Gretchen Sketch calls that off before they can put some points on the board. Looks like there will be one blocker each team starting this one in the box. Caterpillar back out. Facing off against Loach. Right, 3-on-3 blockers. Loach comes straight in. pushes and tries to get through early. Caterkiller with a running start tries to get through that Wasatch tripod, but it's stopped hard by, let's see, that was number 119 and 130. That looked like, yeah, trying to keep track of all the names and numbers as all this action was going around, but Crimson Slayer and I believe Feline Feisty with that early stop early in this jam. Loach now through, getting some good offense by Crimson Slayer to get around. And it is Spartan now with star in hand, as there is been a successful star pass for the Bombers. It's like another whistle blow. There is a cut track call. We'll see who that is going to be called on. I don't see anyone going to the box quite yet. But, oh, it is Caterkiller, looks like, now heading towards the box. Loach, in the meantime, going around, gathers 4 more. Getting a little bit of a breather before having to slam back in through the pack. Spartan through now has that star firmly on their helmet as Loach comes through, gets 4 points, and calls that off. All right, we are winding down to our final 5 minutes of this first half. The score right now standing at 201 for the Wasatch Assault against the Bombers 22. Green Tea out there against Electric Fox. Electric Fox had a really good run the last time they had that star in their helmet. Looks to repeat that. The Green Tea out quickly and fast to take that lead position. And now it is Electric Fox 1-1. Oh, it was like Bad Cop with a great save right at the end there to bring out bring out Electric Fox right at the end of that one, while Green Tea slips and slides their way through for 4 more. Bench now clears. Caterkillar's back out on the track. Green Tea coming in with a lot of speed to break up that tripod and pushes the way through. Electric Fox trying to find a way, but one hit wonder with a solid hit to bring them down at turn number 3. Coming through with a lot of speed and power again is Green Tea. Gathering around those points, coming around the track with a whole lot of speed to really quickly put up those scoring runs. Has already 20 points on this jam. Apex jump, steps and jumps and makes it easily. Electric Fox had a really good run coming out. If it wasn't for that great stop by Bad Cop, they would have been able to do some scoring damage here. But Bad Cop with a great block to halt that Bomber momentum. As Green Tea goes around for 4 more, there has been a successful star pass to the Bombers. That is Liz in Fear now with the cover. And the time runs out on that one. A big run for Green Tea, 36 points.
Some penalties being assigned there at the end of the thing. We'll see what it works out. Coach Jester over in the box, making sure the players are all okay. Derby is a rather emotional sport with a rather emotional kids that are going through changes of life and everything like that. So here we go. Chameleon, 115 coming out there, going ahead to, no. We have an official timeout there as they come over just to make sure they got the score right again. When we come out of the timeout, it will be Chameleon going head to head with Sugar Rush.
Maybe 1 or 2 more jams left in this half. It's like the Bombers are bringing out Spartan Ride or Die And Sugar Rush is standing in front of the other blocker they have out there, so I can't quite see their name or number at this point.
I can't see the other blocker right now. We'll wait till they get turned around here.
Well, we have Crimson Slayer, Roletta. Like maybe Feisty Feline out there for the assault. That is.
It's an issue of star passes we're going over. They want to make sure they capture all of them. A little bit of difference between, so they're making sure they get it right.
And now I can see it is Psychotic up there for the Bombers as their third blocker that they've brought up.
Yes, I appreciate when they put their numbers or their name above their numbers, because when they put the name below it, you can't see the name ever because it's always crinkled up. Kind of like the Wasatch team does it. All right, whistle blows. Sugar Rush to the outside. Chameleon's going in the middle, pushing the whole pack forward. Spartan doing what they can to slow down Chameleon. Chameleon blends into the wall and goes through. Sugar Rush gets cycled back by Crimson Slayer. Crimson Slayer hands off to Feline Feisty. Feline Feisty and Roletta doing what they can. Now Crimson Slayer puts a hit on Sugar Rush. Roletta leading the charge, telling them which way to slide. Now Sugar Rush moves forward. One more to beat. Nope. Now the Wasatch wall cycles in front of them. Chameleon's in. Chameleon's out.
Oh, it's a low block call on Crimson Slayer on that last one, so the Wasatch's pivot will be going to the box. Sugar Rush back right up on their feet. Looking for some offensive screens. Gets it. One more to beat. Do they do it? No. It looks like it was Roletta at the very last moment to bring them back out.
And that allows Wasatch to cycle back up. Now we have a star pass as they hand off to Spartan. Spartan is your jammer. Spartan moves forward and crushes right through there. Chameleon seeing Spartan come back around, calls it off before Spartan can get there.
All right, we'll be at the 1 minute mark when this jam gets underway, so this possibly could be our last jam of the half.
You never know with Junior Roller Derby. They can run it for 2 minutes or they can call it off in 8 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
The unpredictability of Junior Derby.
That's makes these games a lot of fun to call.
So here we go. We got Gretchen Sketch going head-to-head with the Electric Fox. Whistle blows and they crisscross, both now to the inside. Now Gretchen Sketch goes to the outside, sees an opening around Alley Cat. Alley Cat takes a swing and misses. Gretchen Sketch is forward. Valkyrie set it in the message. Keep rolling, keep rolling.
Yeah, in this first half, Wasatch's defense, their one-on-one blocking, their tandem blocking, and their tripods have all been really solid. They've been working really good together on this first half, see if they can keep it up for the rest of the tournament. Meanwhile, that is Electric Fox of the Bombers trying to find a way through that very tough defense as Gretchen Sketch comes around again to put up some points before this half runs down. Period clock is at 10 seconds left, so with lead position, that will be Gretchen in control of the clock.
And we did have a star pass there as they hand off to Lithium for the Bombers. Lithium trying to get around, but Crimson Slayer knocks her back, and then One Hit Wonder knocks her out. Cycling Lithium around, now Lithium gets through. That's her initial pass. One more hit from One Hit Wonder just to say how you doing. Gretchen Sketch calling it off before Lithium can get takeoff back. And that brings us to halftime, folks. We've got 15 minutes. Get up, move around, stretch your legs. If you're sitting on those benches out there, you're going to have to get up, make sure your blood flow returns to your boot. Avail yourself to the concession stand. Try to remember the inside bathrooms are for the skaters, officials, and announcers, thankfully. There are some lovely air-conditioned outside bathrooms for you, so feel free to use those. We're going to be about 15 minutes, and we'll be right back. All righty, folks. As we get ready to come back to our second half of Derby action, we got the Wasatch Assault up against the Cherry Bomb Brawler Bombers here. Wasatch Assault with a commanding lead of 274 to 22. Score does not reflect the actual amount of Derby play, though. There has been some excellent Derby action out there. Excellent play. We've seen it on both teams. We've seen some big hits. We've seen some apex jumps both ways. Right after this, our next bout will be at 10:30, and it'll be the Renegades from Idaho going up the Coyote County Roller Derby Weed Whackers. Wheat Whackers. I have to put the T on there. It's not a D. It's a T. Got it. We're going to get there.
Yeah, some teams I haven't seen play before, so be a lot of fun to call that one as well this weekend.
I'm not going to lie. I went to college in Pullman, so I have a little affinity towards the Wheat Whackers, even though I've never seen them play before either. But I did go to Washington State.
All right.
Go Cougs. So here we go. As we come out of the halftime, we're going to start off with Green Tea up against Spartan. Spartan doing some jousting around Green Tea. Now they move to the outside. Spartan tries to go. Green Tea gets through. Green Tea slices through that pack. Spartan held up by one hit wonder. Now Spartan gets through. Well, Crimson Slayer tried to get to him. Couldn't get to him in time. Green Tea hops the apex. Gets around. Wasatch forms into a wall. The Cherry Bomb Brawlers are in the middle of that wall doing what they can to break up that wall. Spartan trying to get around. Spartan goes flying. I think that was Joe Don't Do It that sent him flying.
All right. Looks like the Bombers trying to come out hot on the second half here. Real aggressive on their blocking. Green Tea, though, very, very quick.
Yeah, you don't want to give him space to operate. You give him a few feet to operate, he's going to slice and dice you. You want to get on him and stick to him. And there we go. Spartan is through for their first four. Yeah, Green Tea, a lot like Who, is one of those skaters you got to get right up on. You don't want to give them any room to operate, because if they start moving, they will out-juke you all day long.
Yeah.
So it looks like Gretchen Sketch coming out against Electric Fox.
Right, Electric Fox opted to take the outside, try to get through there. Gretchen Sketch with some quick moves and pushes to take that lead position.
Gretchen Sketch is through there cleanly. Couldn't see it from my angle, but from their referee's angle, she was clean. Another little hop, not quite the jumps, but little apex hops.
Now Lithium trying to cover up that get right up on the line there, but Gretch still finds able to get enough momentum and space to make it through. But that time Lithium brings out Gretchen Sketch, but cycles back quickly, gets right back into it, and goes around and collects those last 2 points. Electric Fox having a hard challenge to get through there. It's called off here. Looks like a multiplayer call at the very end of that.
We'll see who's skating off there. It looks like I don't see anybody heading to the box.
Oh, okay, looks like one of the Bombers is going there. That's number 24, Tiny Terror, I believe.
I can't quite tell, but I think it's a power start there.
Yep.
So that's Loach out there, and Caterkiller is out there. Okay.
Loach very good at using that whole track to find some space and maneuver around the blockers.
Wasatch forming into a wall at the bottom of the turn there, doing what they can to slow down Caterkiller.
All right, Caterkiller pushing their way through. Right there to bring them right out at the end. Oh, they did not see that low. Looks like there will be a cut track on Caterkiller as they were brought out and came back in before going back around Road Rash, which they have to do to re-enter legally.
All right, Loach sends them forward. Right as they send them forward, they run out of time there. So it's going to be a power start for Chameleon out there. Chameleon goes over with their wall what they want to do. All right, the 5 second. Wasatch forms up into an offense. Chameleon takes off, goes to the outside around Crimson Slayer that opens up a hole.
All right, the Bombers get set up. Wasatch chooses to just surround them on both sides of the track, and that allows Chameleon to swing on through.
Sending in different offenses. You see Chameleon calling the offense as they go through there.
Hard collision there, number 67 of the Bombers.
Caterkiller back in there. Caterkiller immediately makes contact with Roletta and Crimson Slayer. Caterkiller does a good job staying in bounds, though.
Yeah, tough little cookie with a hard stop against Chameleon, where they both went down. Chameleon's able to get right back to their feet to continue their scoring run.
Now, Tough Little Cookie's one I've seen starting to grow up here as they came, I think a couple years ago, they were much smaller, and now we see them starting to grow, and they're turning into a tough medium cookie maybe.
All right, Green Tea back out, up against Spartan. Bombers choosing to start right up at that jam line, try to slow down Green Tea's momentum. Unable to do that. Spartan opting to push and shove their way through the Wasatch tripod. Not an easy thing to do, but they managed to do it and get by.
Spartan was able to get him to slide to the inside, then he went to the outside. They're telling Green Tea to keep rolling. We'll see if the Wasatch wall can hold back Spartan.
Very nice as number 19, I believe, that closed off that avenue for Green Tea. That was a Slaughtermelon. And again, it's a difficult thing to halt Green Tea's momentum, but the Bombers have done a pretty good job on this last run here, bringing them back twice. Oh, hard hit, number 77, one-hit wonder. Clean hit, no call or penalty on that one up against Spartan. So great stop by one-hit wonder.
Yeah, the name comes from after one hit, you'll wonder why you're playing Derby. So a little bit of a change up. Wasatch sends out Crimson Slayer as their jammer. Electric Fox for the cherry bomb. Whistle blows and Crimson goes to the outside. Electric Fox trying to fight through that pack. Wasatch kind of has a fragmented wall, but is able to still cycle him back. That's Scratch a Sketch cycling back. Electric Fox cycles him back out.
Crimson Slayer puts up their first 4 points of the jam. Comes around again for a second scoring pass. Electric Fox still trying to get through that pack. Yeah, Wasatch very quickly, assembling their defenders together to block off. Once one jammer gets past one or two blockers, the other blockers are right there to stop. but they are finally able to find a way through. And Crimson Slayer now on another scoring run, opts to keep going. This jam is winding down. Looks like there may not be any more points scored before time runs out.
And we have a timeout, Wasatch Assault. So hope all you guys at home are watching this game. This is early action and early morning roller derby, but we're here. We do have a live stream going out, so shout out to Backslash and his team for putting that live stream together. We're going to figure out how we can see it so we can respond to it if you guys are putting shout outs in the live stream. Right now we can't. Up next at 10:30 here, so just in about an hour, we will have the Renegades Junior Roller Derby team. The Outlaws going head-to-head with Coyote County Roller Derby. Coyote Country. I've been reading that wrong. I was thinking I went to Pullman. I don't think it's in Coyote County. So here we go. We're going to start off. It's going to be Loach up against Caterkiller. Both of them hit the middle of the pack and start moving forward a little bit. Loach banging around on the inside there. Loach finally gets through. Caterkiller getting cycled back by Joe Don't Do It. Doesn't see him. Oh, almost steps in, but now they're going to get a cut track penalty. No cut track penalty. I guess Joe slid back too far.
Yeah, it's some good heads-up playing by Caterkiller to realize that they were out of play. They were able to separate back in.
That's hard to see, I think, in junior roller derby unless it's really obvious. That was subtle.
All right, Loach going around again, looking to put some more points on the board. Yeah, watching them jam, it's almost like watching a slalom skier. They just go back and forth across that track and are able to open up the opposing team's defense and score those points.
Yeah, it's better to maneuver through the line than get hit through the line.
Yeah. Have a longer career that way too. So for people watching and maybe recognize some of the points or how they're being scored in the clock. So the jams now are set up to 1 minute jams, and there is sudden scoring. So as soon as the team gets through the pack, they immediately get 4 points. So if you're wondering why there's some differences to what you were seeing from the first half, that is the changes that have been made here.
Yeah, and junior roller derby, when the score gets out of hand, they want to see if they can't make it more competitive, so they do it. It doesn't diminish the quality of roller derby out there. It just keeps it going faster.
All right, Spartan putting forth hard effort every jam and finding their way through the pack. Wasatch has not made it easy for the Bombers this game at all, so them just keeping up with it and pushing through and getting some points. It's a very good effort by Spartan on this jam and other jams.
Chameleon comes in there with a nice slide around the line.
Green Tea out again, up against Sugar Rush. Benches are clear, so have a full 4-on-4 blockers out there.
So I have to say, Carl, the box is clear. When the bench is clear, it's a fight.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So every time you say that, being an ex-hockey player, I'm like, what? We're clearing the benches.
Right. Yeah, I should make
So
sure I get that
the box is
terminology
clear.
correct. Penalty box, yeah.
Well, you've certainly kept your penalties down as of late. I remember when you first started, you used to get a whole bunch of forearm penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I saw you skating, you were a very clean skater, so you understand the box.
Yeah.
And now we have Sugar Rush heading off to the sin bin. They're going off. They're going to get a 30 seconds to reflect quietly. We are going to run out this jam, and so we will get a power start the next time. Green Tea doesn't need extra space to operate, but he's got it.
All right. Green Tea communicating with their blockers to get around there. See if they got able to get
They're going to give T.
points on that, or I see a 1 and I see a 2 out there.
I think T got a 2 there. That's what it. There he goes. 2 points.
All right.
All right, now Joe Don't Do It coming out there for the Wasatch team. We've got Killer in the box cooking off a penalty still. The whistle blows and they go. They open up a hole, Roletta pops a hole open, and Joe Don't Do It gets out of there fast.
Wasatch being very effective with covering both the inside and outside of the track with 2 defenders each to open up some lanes for their jammers on these power jams.
Joe Don't Do It with a nice side surf go through there, keeps everything in bounds, and now 17 is going to get sent off for a penalty there as they hit Joe, and Joe collects himself and move forward. I think that's Killer.
Yep, Killer. Sugar Rush still trying to find a way through the tripod. Now Wasatch very set, difficult to push away when they get into that tripod. Joe coming around up against Lithium. Lithium stops them, and one-on-one, and Lithium brings them down. Oh.
Joe thought about it. Joe was waiting for Lithium to step out, and Lithium did not.
Yeah.
That was some good derby. If you watch their action, they were both watching their feet to make sure they did or did not step out. So it looks like it's a power start for Crimson Slayer as Wasatch comes out there with the flat wall. They're going to send them forward and cause chaos. Crimson Slayer trying to slingshot around, one-hit wonder. Bodies hit the floor, a pile up on the 405, and one hit it, or Crimson is out.
Wasatch doing a good job of not allowing the Bombers to get set. And that allows Crimson Slayer to swing on through for 4. All right, that is Sugar Rush back out for the Bombers now. Slayer's been recycled back. Looks like there's a call on there. It's a directional call, and that will be Caterpillar, I believe, going back to the box.
Yep, you can only hit in one direction. Everything flows in the derby direction. It all flows clockwise, no counterclockwise movement. Or I guess derby is counterclockwise. No, it's clockwise.
Well, if
No,
we're
it's
looking
counter.
at it, it's counterclockwise.
It is counterclockwise. So, but nothing can go in the opposite of derby direction. So when you see something, you see a big hit and you see a body go flying, but it's in the opposite direction, that's a directional. So here we go. Quiet Killer lining up against Electric Fox.
Quiet Killer's first time with the Jam Star. Makes a nice quick move to the outside to take lead. Quiet Killer goes down. Looks like there was not a low block call on that, so that was a Lithium and with the stop there on Quiet Killer.
Oh, it looks like Cherry Bomb Brawlers is going to play short there. It's Killer skating off. It looks like they might have maxed out their penalties.
All right, Quiet Killer coming around, sees that inside open, and is able to swing through.
Pretty skating, boy. The best thing to do is to not get hit, not shake off the hit, but just not get hit at all.
Yep.
Quiet Killer is advancing quite a bit as you see them come through there, just a couple of dips, and they're through there clean.
All right, Green Tea back out, and definitely with a lot of speed and a lot of agility, can put up a lot of points very quickly. And there'll be a team timeout called by the Bombers. Perhaps looking for some strategy. They didn't have a jammer out, so I think they're going to talk some things over and get reset for this next jam here.
And I think whenever you bring these teams in from flatlands or low altitudes and you bring them up to, it's a factor of the Great Salt Lake out there. It really dehydrates people, and by this time in the bout, you're pretty worn out. So it's always good to make sure you burned up all your timeouts.
Oh, sure.
Give your team time to rest.
Yeah, each team is given 3 team timeouts and an official review per half.
No, 3 timeouts per game. They get 3
Really?
timeouts for the whole game. I just found that out a couple weeks ago when somebody explained that to me. I thought it was 3 per half also. They said, no, you get an official review each half, but you only get 3 timeouts per game.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. I
So
guess
I-
I have not paid close enough attention to that.
Well, I certainly haven't either, Carl. I've been at this a few years, and I have never known that. So here we go. Ride or Die up against Green Tea. Ride or Die runs right into Circus and Bad Cop. They slow them down. Ride or Die getting hit by everybody out there, including Road Rash.
But Ride or
Oh.
Die finds a way through.
Ride or
Able
Die.
to separate those skaters, and that is Green Tea going to the penalty box. So Ride or Die with a big opportunity.
Perfect timing there. They go through there right at the right time, and Green Tea gets a push in the back as they get through there. Coach sending in instructions. I don't think Ride or Die hears him over in the far corner.
All right, Bad Cop brings back Ride or Die. Bombers looking to get some offense together to help their jammer get on through.
Ride or Die runs right into One Hit Wonder. One Hit Wonder is not going to give an inch.
Right.
One Hit Wonder has been at this for about 8 or 9 years.
And Green Tea goes right back out and is able to put up 4 points in the final seconds right before that jam ends. So
And One Hit Wonder caught Ride or Die right at the last second with a cut track. That was some gamesmanship right there. Oh, we have an official timeout. Once again, we have a little score discrepancy there. It seemed like Ride or Die right at the end of there picked up a cut track penalty as they came in ahead of One Hit Wonder. I'm not sure that's what the referees are talking about or what they're talking about. Maybe talking about lunch plans afterwards.
it's still too early.
But if you are hungry, Victor's Tires, don't go there for the tires, but go there for the tamales. Trust me on this one. You're going to like the food at Victor's Tires.
Yeah, it sounds crazy that, the tire store will have the tamales and stuff there, but yeah, it's good.
Oh, it looks like the referees are pulling Ride or Die out of the box. I'm not sure. You know, I know, you know. Pulls Ride or Die out of the box, puts him back in, so we are not going to have a power start.
Yeah, it seems that they're opting to keep Ryder in for a second jam.
That's good.
So as a jammer, that's pretty difficult to do back-to-back jams like that. So Ride or Die, definitely a lot of energy and strength to opt to do that.
Yeah, that's no doubt. I mean, you got to remember that everybody out there that has a different color than you wants to hit you.
Right. All right, Chameleon coming around. Tough little cookies right there to stop the access to the inside. Lithium with a nice hit out. Bringing back Chameleon.
Tough little cookie and Lithium, easy to spot with those shorts. Chameleon in, Chameleon out.
All right, looks like there's a directional called on the pivot for the Bombers. Ride or die now through. Chameleon right behind them. Both jammers come up for another run to crash into those walls and some hits. Looks like Chameleon brought down a Ride or Die just before they themselves went into a bomber wall and were brought down.
I love the fact that as the Chameleon crushed onto Sugar or Tough Little Cookie, they made sure they were okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's Derby for you.
Yeah, you definitely want to hit hard, but, no one wants to see anyone carried off, the track or anything like that. So
I coached basketball for many years. It's a non-contact sport. I had to pat my girls down for shanks. It was about a stabbing thing out there. No contact sport. They're out there making plenty of contact.
Yeah.
So one more shout out again for our sponsors here today. Without them, we could not function. 187 Killer Pads for an excellent discount on the pads we all wear. Einstein Bagels for donating the bagels for today. For the medics and skaters and NSOs and everybody like that. The Pie Pizzeria for donating pizza for last night's social if you made it. And always donating pizza to us here at Salt Lake Roller Derby. And, of course, Canyon Sports Therapy that is out there providing therapists for our children as they go out there, get taped up, put back in, and sent back into action. Now, this Monday, the adults have Crash Course starting, information about it. So if you want to sacrifice your own body to this sport and you want to do it, come on down to the 31st of March right here, 7 o'clock, I think it is.
Yes.
7 o'clock right here. If you don't want to pay for Crash Course and want to be an official, we'll pay for Crash Course for you as long as you agree to sit out there and skate and officiate for us. You see many of these officials out there. I don't think any of them have a kid involved here today, but they're just out there donating their time, and that's always a pleasure to see.
Yep. Yeah, I started at age 40 with no skating experience, so yeah, there's no reason not to do it if you like what you're seeing out here and wanted to challenge yourself like this against other adults. Go for it.
All right, and we have Joe Don't Do It out there against Electric Fox. Joe Don't Do It out quickly. Electric Fox out about 30 seconds behind. Joe Don't Do It sees Electric Fox over there. They can't call it off. They got to move forward. Wasatch puts everything on the move, keeps sliding forward. Here comes Electric Fox. Slams in there. Sugar Rush tries to open a hole, but ends up creating a wall. Crimson Slayer doing what they can to slow down Sugar Rush or Electric Fox. Green Tea comes sideways. Oh, body's flying. Electric Fox takes a few hits.
Electric Fox taking some hard hits out there, but still getting right back up. So good on Electric Fox.
Yeah, I saw Cherry Bomb Brawler headed off for a low block, it looks like.
All right, and Lady J with the Jammer Star for the first time for Wasatch Assault. Up against number 19 of the Bombers. That is Slaughtermelon, who I believe is also for the first time taking the Jam Star.
And it looks like the Cherry Bomb Brawlers has one in the box. Wasatch is going to start off, push everybody in, and Jay squirts to the outside. Lady J going to the outside. Gretchen Sketch tries to push out. Slaughtermelon. Slaughtermelon gets around.
Yeah, nice move to get around the hips of the last defender there by Slaughtermelon. Pick up a quick 4. Oh, stays on their feet for 4 more. Slaughtermelon with a nice run for the Bombers here. So Lady J and Slaughtermelon trading off points so far. Big lane open in the inside for Lady J. Slaughtermill, that same lane was closed off by the Wasatch Assault, and we're not able to get through and recycled back. Lady J now little quick push and shove, and for 4 more. Slaughtermill now being held back by the Wasatch Assault after a really good 2 scoring run pass.
And we have a clean standoff there as Lithium gets the star, but can't get anything going as they just get the star, takes 2 steps forward, and it's called off.
Bombers were able to put up 1 more point before that ended there. All right, we're just past the 7-minute mark on this last half of our first game. It's like a team timeout being called by the Bombers. We'll be starting off with Bad Cop as the jammer for the Assault, as Spartan once again goes out there for the Bombers.
This year, the Wasatch Juniors injecting a whole lot more offenses. You'll see them put up their hands and various different offensive packages they want to get out there and execute.
So, still a lot of energy on these skaters right at the end here.
Well, remember, these skaters got to go through 4 bouts this weekend.
Right, yeah.
There is no rest in them. You do what you can. So here we go. Bad Cop up against Spartan.
All right, Spartan with a nice move to the outside.
No.
But no, taken out by low trade at the end there. Oh, thought they might have come in early, but it doesn't look like it. No,
It looks like it from our angle,
Yeah.
but nope. Bad Cop's out there digging around.
Oh, nice dip by Bad Cop, but a good stop. Trying to see the number of the bomber there. This looks like number 99. That was Ride or Die with a great stop against Bad Cop and recycled it back. Now Spartan trying to find a way through, but they may have gotten a low block call.
Looks like Chemical X.
Yes.
Yeah, right at the last minute, Chemical X picked him up and got him a low block. So that'll give a power start to the next one.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I've played a few double-header games, and, you know, that can be pretty exhausting, so a few days full of derby. It's a lot to put yourself through.
Yeah, luckily the kids, you know, they've got good insurances, great parents, all that kind of stuff. So they put it out there, and they have little bodies, as we were talking about earlier. The older you get, the harder it is to recover.
Oh, some nice, good moves by Crimson Slayer. Scoring early for the Wasatch Assault. Now just Spartan back out for the Bombers. One-hit wonder stops them on the inside. And they are continuing to shove and push their way through. And are able to do it. Nice. There's not a lot of room there on the inside. But they were able to exploit it and get through for 4. Crimson Slayer right on their heels. Spartan opts to do some defense. At the very end there, right before that's called off. And a 16-6 score on that jam as we're down to 4 minutes left in this game.
Wasatch sends out number 26, Roletta, for the first time, going head-to-head with 73, Lithium.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen Lithium out there jamming yet.
No, taking a few star passes, but I
Yep.
don't think as a starting jammer.
I've seen him take star passes. But there we go. Roletta looks like they're maneuvering through. One more hit, and Roletta slips through there.
Green Tea shoves out Lithium and recycles them back.
Looks like Ride or Die is in the middle of that Wasatch wall trying to do what they can to cause disruption. And now we have a penalty as two Bomber skaters skate off, both the jammer and one of their blockers. That's given a clear advantage to the Wasatch team.
20 seconds left in this jam.
Roletta sending in the clue, saying get in there and break stuff.
A lot of good communication within the team members of Wasatch here. Now setting up a lot of good plays for their helping out their jammer a lot.
Yeah, Colin DeShots years ago established the no talk practice where they can't say a word throughout the whole practice, and they get used to talking, communicating to each other and listening for each other's voices.
Yeah. A lot of good strategy shown on this first game by Wasatch. Bombers hanging in there in every jam.
That's what I'm saying. There's no drop off in the quality of derby out there today. You might look at the score and think it's a complete blowout, but there's a lot of quality derby happening out there.
Oh yeah, derby scores can be very deceptive because you can, one jam you can score 20 to 30 points immediately. So it looks like there's this huge gap, but that gap can close up real quick. So it's hard to judge what kind of game it is just by the score alone.
And now Lithium skates back off with a cut track penalty, giving Loach room to move. Loach weaves through there. One more to beat, gets around it.
Yeah, very smooth skating by Loach. We have a bomber skater.
All right, they're up on their own power, and they're going to skate off. Always good to see. Again, this is the end of a bout. A lot of energy going off. Every hit hurts. The derby floor is cold. I believe it's hard.
Yeah, very unforgiving.
Yes. This is solid cement you're crashing into.
I said each jam has a blocker, jammer, however you're hitting into the pack or engaging. You definitely want to hit as hard as possible, but you always hate seeing another player having to leave the track.
Yeah, and the pads are there for falls, not for hits.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. Gretchen Sketch starting out there in a power start with a nice pirouette move around. Last blocker. Gretchen Sketch is loose. Gretchen Sketch is back into the pack. Gets the orders from Crimson. Which way to go? They go to the inside, and they keep moving. Jay forms them into a wall.
All right, Lithium back out. Oh, nice jump by Gretchen-Sketch. That looks like some one-on-one blocking now. They bring the bombers up to their own tripod. Lithium swings around. Oh, Yeah, there is a
No.
cut track on that one. Lithium back to the box has definitely had a bit of penalty trouble in these last few jams here.
Yeah, I think Wasatch thought they had a definite cut track, and then they skated forward. They weren't sure, so referees caught it and said, "Yep, that's a cut track, and that'll be a power start."
Okay, well, as time runs out here, unless there's a timeout being called, which there is, so the clock will stop and we'll get one more jam before the end of this game. So definitely looking forward to see what both these teams do, in their next encounters. Yeah, like we got 2 days worth of derby here, so one game does not make or break your whole weekend at all.
No, I know we've seen the Cherry Bomb Brawlers. They always show up, and one time I think they showed up with 9 players, but they still showed up. They still competed in the tournament, and they gave it everything they had. I have a ton of respect for those little clubs like that don't have 30, 40 players to pull from, because they give it their all. They got to draw from everybody, and they still do it.
Yep.
And to show sportsmanship, the assault are cheering for the Cherry Bombs. So here we go. Chemical X with a flat wall out there, running behind One Hit Wonder, using them as a fullback, trying to get around them. Staying in One Hit Wonder's hip pocket. Now Roletta seals the outside edge. Chemical X is through.
Very good movement. Yeah. You can push and shove your own players as much as you want to provide some offense for you. You just can't hit the opposing players quite the same way.
That was a little sibling hit on hit there as Chemical X runs into Quiet Killer.
Yes.
Too many killers and too many pandas.
Yes, yeah. All right, Chemical X on through. Lithium with a solid stop, and tough little cookie and ride or die right there as well. Spartan now up against One Hit Wonder. Quick move inside. That cuts it off. That is our unofficial score as it stands right now. It'll be 611 to 139. They'll make sure those scores are correct and accurate before that final whistle blows and ends the game here.
Now, once we do get the rolling whistle, we'll invite you out to the gray track, but until we get the rolling whistle, everybody hold still for a second. All right, there it is. Everybody's invited out to the white track, stand at the gray track, and we'll send these skaters around to high five. All officials down by the scoreboard. All officials by the scoreboard.
And the start time for our next game is scheduled at 10:30. Coming up in 21 minutes here. That may be subject to change depending on if teams need to warm up or not, or have some coaches and captains meetings. But yeah,
All right.
A lot more derby to go.
All right, let's send these two teams around. First off, you got your Wasatch Assault, Bad Cop, Chameleon, Green Tea, Crimson Slayer, Circus, Roller Reina, Roletta, Lady J, Quiet Killer, Gretchen Sketch, Road Rash, Loach, One Hit Wonder, Chemical X, Feline Feisty,